This video is going to be me talking from the perspective of a UK citizen, and why has it been almost the last year that I've spent only a few weeks in the UK. And if you're watching this and you're from the UK, this might really resonate with you. If you're not from the UK, what you're going to learn in this video is what it's like to be born and raised in the UK, and couple that with self-awareness to actually understand what's going on, what it's like to live there right now. And why specifically I'm making this video is to beacon a message actually to as many people that are able to receive it. And I know how much I've learned over the last few years as I've focused on earning money and building my business online so I could travel and basically earn everything through a laptop, which I've succeeded at, actually. And for the short period of time, I would actually say I've done incredibly well considering the circumstances. But I don't want to talk too much about business. I really want to speak about where the problems are in the UK right now. If it was a case of just putting up with the weather, there's many places in the UK that you could settle for, I would say. There's a lot of places you could go, and places that I've actually been in the UK where I'm actually a little bit mind blown that this is in the UK. So this isn't an all-round attack. It's not even an attack. It's just my experience and what I feel many other people are going to start feeling if they're not already sunk in it right now. And I want to put it out there. Some of the UK is beautiful. Some of the people in the UK are amazing people. Some of the culture where it's left in the UK is great. We have a tremendous sense of humor in the UK. We also have in the UK, I would say we have a good sense of how, although it's changing, it's hard for me to say this, but it used to feel like how people look out for one another. That's what it used to feel like, at least. And it's no longer like that. So let me start with this. The weather is one thing. But you start to go down a rabbit hole and you realize that the weather really, questionably, isn't natural. And if you look up at all, if you just pay attention and you look up in the sky, you'll see that there are continuous, there's planes that are out there, and they're spraying chemtrails in the sky. And this video is supposed to be going on YouTube. So this is how ridiculous it is, like the speech police from algorithms. So I don't know how far this will go, but there's chemtrails in the sky. So it's actually just fact that chemtrails and the way that they're modifying weather has been something that they've been doing for ages, a very long time, years and years and years and years. And when you look around and you see how few people look up and actually understand what's going on, it doesn't tell you just about what the governments, the organizations, the companies, the corporations are doing. It tells you a hell of a lot about the people on the ground. And most people in the UK, from my experience, are unfortunately brain dead. They succumb to be pacified during the whole period of lockdowns in 2020 And I've spoke about this extensively in many other streams, and I want to keep this video short. But the video I've done on what happened through lockdown in 2020 has gone into way more specific detail about how challenging that was actually to be someone that was incredibly aware of what was happening and to witness everyone around you bend over and take it up the rear end because first of all, they're living in fear. They don't really have much self-awareness. They're kind of imprisoned in some kind of lifestyle. But more importantly, they were examples of how mentally the populace has been conditioned for at least a century, because this comes from school. This is why people's parents and likely their parents are all regurgitating the same shit. And the same shit is what's being fed to them in the media and in the news. And although more people are waking up to it, specifically, this is how bad it is to be in the UK right now. If you understand the government as a business, as it is, and it's a corporation too, there's back-end business going on behind the government. And the people that you see up front, the Keir Starmers, the next puppet that are put in front of the populace, only act as a puppet, but there's puppeteers behind that. And really it's businesses and corporations. And when you understand how in holistically the bigger picture of what's going on in Earth, and particularly in certain continents and nations, how talk money for a moment, how money is being utilized to absolutely destroy the culture of the UK, to absolutely fucking obliterate any single patriotic, respectable, honorable stance that people have. And they are out there. There's some way more impartial journalism happening now that's coming on YouTube. Can't remember his name, top of my mind, but there's a guy that goes around and he's walking amongst all the people in the protests of what's happening in the UK. And these people you can see that are starting to show and raise awareness of what the people actually think. And without me talking for an hour, because I'm timing this video, I'm trying to keep this under 15 minutes. I want to say this. There are so many problems in the UK, and if you're aware of it, I don't really need to speak about it. I'll list some things. The whole political system is a fucking joke. A lot of them people in Parliament should be arrested, for real, arrested. And that's being kind. That should be first priority. The tyranny state of what they've done with the legal system over the last few years intensified has been more reason than ever to at least educate yourself on law, and specifically common law. And people think that's a joke. Common law is an extension of God. You can't have man-made rules and policies that no one agreed to just come out of thin air and everyone has to passively agree to it. But of course, again, for another video, people do. And I could explain and break down the reasons why. I've done that many different times. But the point is, it's happening. You're charged out your ass for everything. You can't go anywhere without a speed camera, a signpost. You can't go anywhere without people wanting to know your business. You can't go into a home and actually just live in peace unless you have a significant amount of money. And if you have a significant amount of money in the UK and your business is registered in the UK, you're being taxed out your arsehole. And the tax is funding, quite honestly, some of the most disgusting human behavior that's happening behind corporations like the BBC. You've got the general vibe of what's happening with the people because they're completely dissatisfied and they don't really know what to do on the micro of what they can do every single day to change. And as I come to 10 minutes on this video, I want to start talking about the options. There's a lot of problems in the UK. Here's some solutions. First of all, you have to understand that if you are looking for change, if you're really looking for change, significantly and sincerely, you have to get out of your environment. When I was 21, I was feeling incredibly depressed. And I remember hopping on a plane and going to see my grandma in Spain. And that liberation of just getting on that flight and going through that travel on my own to land in Spain was unbelievably refreshing. And it taught me so much to realize how much you can't see when you are amongst it. So when you're in the UK, when you're in that loop, when you're in that cycle, more importantly, when you see the people that are in your life and they come towards you and they say the same things, they ask the same questions, it's the same numb experience of life. It's very, very hard to change. So the first thing you have to do is, at least short term, get out of that environment. Now, what I've done specifically is traveled intermittently in places. And it was actually last couple of years, I really started to take online business and earning money online and providing my services and my value online. And somewhat it has worked out for me. It hasn't been fucking easy. There's been many different stories and experiences, all of which I share on all my channels in different categories. On Rumble, I speak about things way uncensored, and I'm going to speak about way more. But the reality is, I've managed to sustain a living and continue to build that traveling around. And last year, me and my partner, we decided to go in a small Nissan Micra, tiny little Micra, and our dog, and we decided to go, fuck it, let's drive to Spain. And we drove 24 hours to Spain. And since then, we had a little experience of hopping from Airbnbs and seeing what that was like. And I cannot tell you how beneficial that was for our momentum and to learn and to be in a different environment, to be actually in a space where we can not be distracted, which is unbelievably beneficial. And it's led to this point where in this year, I've been over to America. I flew to Georgia in Atlanta to visit a team that I was working with in a holistic health retreat in 60-acre farm. That was unbelievable, surrounded by high vibrational beings. Still, with a reality, everyone in their life has problems, and everyone's dealing with the same problems kind of on Earth. But high vibrational living, food, doing business, doing work, learning loads of things, expanding wisdom, growing as an individual. To then and I was out there for about 5 weeks, to then when we came back, we spent just a few weeks in the UK before we got a new car. Cash, this is another thing. Finance, everything's finance in the UK. Everyone's on a mortgage, everything's finance. No one owns any of their stuff. I bought a car cash, and a way better car, an upgrade from the Nissan Micra. So business is doing better. And since then, we went to Germany first. It was like, we need to get out of the UK, drive, and we went through the Eurotunnel. And if you want to know any more specific information on this, send me a message. If you want to know about this, because this is one of the main reasons I wanted to make this video, there is so much you learn as you begin to explore what it looks like to, like, what do I do if I don't live in the UK? If I've been born and raised in the UK, what do I do? We have to lean on people that have already done it and been doing it. There's many different Facebook groups, channels, and things. If you're watching this, then it's a sign you should probably connect to me, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. I think it's very important we connect with each other. But we drove first to Germany, beautiful place, and we've been Airbnb hopping ever since, to the point where we hit Germany, went through Slovenia and hit Ljubljana, the capital of Slovenia, which was beautiful. There was Croatia, Bosnia, Serbia, by far my favorite. We spend the longest time there because Serbia is outside of the Schengen zone in the European Union. And it's another thing with the UK. The Brexit malarkey means anyone with a UK passport doesn't just have freedom to access the EU anymore. There's a plan and there's a plot to trap people in the UK. And they're going to trap UK people, and they're going to continue to funnel people. And I'm going to say this, and you need to read between the lines. They aren't from the UK. No one exactly knows where they're from, and they arrive on boats. And everything that's happening in the subcultures that everyone kind of knows about, but not everyone's comfortable to speak about, it's happening. And it's very important you stay safe, because it's getting more and more tense in the UK. My partner, Amy, has gone back there right now to run some errands. And just being there for a few days is taking its toll on her. And she's seeing family, loved ones. She's doing things that spiritually should feel quite liberating. But at the same time, you just cannot get around the energy. You cannot avoid it. So we're going to continue to travel. We're driving around, 3 of us, traveling and driving around Europe, legally shifting from country to country to extend our stay of what we can with UK citizen passports. And there is a hell of a lot to learn. And I am going to be doing way more content on this to educate people. And more importantly, facilitating a network and an access point for people that do want to learn and they are serious and they want to get out. And if you want to find out more about what that looks like, you have to follow me. You have to see as the story unfolds. But I tell you now, the lease of life outside of the UK is so much better. It's concerning to how bad it is in the UK. And it's not bad if you're not born there. Many people receiving benefits, not being born in the UK and going over to the UK. And they don't seem to mind it. But if you're born in the UK and you're sick to death and you're tired of it, you do have options. And the first option, take my advice, don't take my advice. It may not even be advice, because you have to speak to people that are doing it. And if you are interested, you can send me a message. There'll be information under this YouTube. But if you are interested, you can learn exactly what we did, all the mistakes that we made, all the things that we now do differently. And I would highly encourage you to document your own journey as well, because it's not easy. You think, this should just be easy. Let me get in a car and let me just drive. There's many different things that you're never taught about. No one's really ever telling you. You can research it, but you've got to sieve through all the bullshit of what certain people are saying because they're unable to be impartial and they've had bad experiences. You just need to find a trusted source. And nothing's going to be more trusting than your own experiences. So I'm coming up to 20 minutes, and maybe the rule is 20-minute videos. But if you are watching this thinking, I know what you feel, Charlie. I am feeling that right now. I'm stuck in it. I'm locked in a job. I'm locked around the same environment. I want to know how to break free from it. Then the first step to take is to click whatever information I'm going to put in this link below and start to ask questions more privately. Even leave comments. You don't have to come and connect with me directly. Just leave a comment. Ask questions. And I'm not doing this because there's some agenda. I'm doing this because I realized how frustrating it was. I didn't have anyone, and me and Amy didn't have anyone to ask this stuff. And we just went for it and figured it out. And I'm looking to increase the culture of people that understand how to improve their quality of life, improve their health, improve themselves. And it starts by changing your environment. So I appreciate that you watched this and you sat and went through me talking about this. And if you are feeling that right now, just know it isn't going to get better in the UK. And I know it sounds quite pessimistic, but it's not pessimistic. It's very realistic. It's very honest and transparent. And if you have any other reason to believe otherwise, stay there. Stay there. No problem. If you do have an intuition that you should probably look to change things, then it's probably wise not to wait around for that. And there we go. My screensaver come on and freaked me out. I thought the video stopped. But that comes to the end of the video. Appreciate you watching. If you did enjoy this video, let me know what you thought below. You can comment, you can like, you can subscribe, you can do whatever you like. But do something. Peace.